Welcome back to the Call on Our Shop podcast. I'm Austin, and I'm joined by Logan. We're here to talk about a lot of different things, but we got some updates for the Call on Our Shop channel, so definitely stick around. This is our weekly podcast posted every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you guys want to listen to it on an audio, you can, or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, click the first link in the description. You can download it. Help support us. But Logan, how are you doing today before we get into things?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. It kind of feels like, Christmas Eve a little bit because, we're about to embark on a really crazy journey. We're going to talk about a lot in the video, but, again, I'm so excited because I get to once again really interact with the community. I mean, I missed you guys. Like, Austin's been backpacking the channel, hold down the fort with NBA, but like I've missed interacting with everybody, so I'm just really excited.
Yeah, it is like Christmas morning, as a lot of people might not know. The MLB, Major League Baseball, is starting back up tomorrow, so of course we're gonna have daily videos. That's what we kind of want to talk about in this video, is a couple different things. Obviously, Logan's returning. If you guys are new to the channel, which a lot of you probably are new and didn't see Logan really a lot last year, he did all our daily MLB videos every single day. It was a true grind, and he was a warrior through it all. I had to take a little bit of time off, but it is what it is. And so we'll be talking about that in a second. Again, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're almost, I believe, 100 subscribers away from 30K. Ooh. So that's awesome. That'd be cool if we can hit that. Also, drop a like on the video too. Now, let's talk about a couple different things. Obviously, Logan, you'll be back, and we're excited for you to be back for the MLB. And so we kind of want to do a little of a kind of what can you expect going forward. So kind of put a couple notes on the screen. We're going to start doing our MLB videos. Those will be live on the channel at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then we're going to try to get the NBA videos up by 9 a.m. So it's not like it's not like it's going to be consistently 9 a.m., but we'll try to get it up no later than 9 a.m., maybe earlier, depending on how the editing and exporting process goes. And then something, Logan, do you want to announce kind of what we're doing as like a little spoiler for a parlay of the day kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, so, we're going to, part of, our partnership, we're going to be, posting an article with the parlay of the day every weekday on OddsJam, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, roughly. I mean, you can kind of read the note down below as I'm talking about it. But I'm really excited about this because it's one of those aspects. I mean, we give our picks, we give our thoughts, and, a lot of people have an itch that needs to be scratched when they ask Austin and I, like, what about a parlay? Like, I like the picks. I just don't know what to parlay. Yeah, the degens. All of us are like this. I mean, parlays are the ultimate boom or bust kind of thing, all or nothing in a parlay. So it's like this hopefully, kind of, gives anybody that's looking for a parlay, our best thoughts on one that should cash. With our sponsor, OddsJam, great people at OddsJam. I love them, and I'm really excited to be partnering with them in the MLB video. So I'm really excited for that. And stay tuned for those articles when they're posted 9, 10 a.m. Eastern, I guess.
Yeah. So just kind of rehash. We obviously have partnered up with OddsJam. We've been partnered with them for a while, but we're going to start writing articles for them daily every weekday. And that's going to be our parlay of the day. So what you can expect in our daily MLB video is going to be, we're going to give you guys 2 money lines, probably 2 money lines or spreads or, whatever, then, or maybe an over under, then 1 player prop probably to begin with, and then 1 no run first inning. You guys know we're Nerfy Nation. We ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So we'll have those kind of 4 picks. And then after that, in addition to that, we're going to be writing an article. It'll be a parlay of the day on OddsJam. We'll link it down in the description, at the top of the description, in our normal MLB videos. And we'll also link it in the pinned comment. If you guys want to go read it, go just check it out. It helps support us. OddsJam, we'll love seeing a lot of clicks on there. Definitely, you can use the OddsJam website. We'll be kind of showcasing that through our daily MLB videos. Not too much, but kind of showing the bells and whistles of what we like about it. But there's a lot to be excited about, though, Logan. It's an exciting time.
It is an exciting time, and also, when I was reflecting on it, like on my way home from work today, I was like, you know what? Tomorrow morning, so we obviously record these podcasts, on a Tuesday night, have them uploaded by Wednesday morning, kind of thing. But I was thinking about when I wake up Wednesday morning, that's the last morning really that I'm going to have to not do anything. Like, the grind is insane for the MLB. Like, that's why Austin kind of hinted at the burnout factor. Yeah, the burnout factor is real. But having a co-host, having somebody do these videos with me is going to make it a lot more fun. And I also, I would like to preface, I have a full season under my belt from last year. So, like, I should be better. Lessons learned. you know, as far as my picks. I don't know about yours. Maybe you're selling straight bad info. Who knows?
Nah. Yeah, we'll see. You know, MLB is a grind of a sport. It's like, I mean, it's like basketball, but on a whole nother level, because the teams play each other 3 straight times every single day, and it's a true grind. So some things, you know, you can use the data as best as you can, but in the end, they're going to need some luck. I mean, errors will happen in baseball. There will be fluky things that happen nonstop. A pitcher will have a bad day. That's going to happen. So we're going to try our best to give our best picks every single day. You guys, obviously, we want to preach to you guys to do your research as well. Obviously, I don't know if I'd tail us into the ground, but I would at least do your research as always. And so it's going to be an exciting time. Again, shout out to our All-Stars. We appreciate all you guys for supporting the channel. We get a lot of cool content coming your guys' way. And yeah, I think that's kind of going to summarize just to kind of bring it all in. We're going to have our daily parlay of the day. That'll be posted in an article on OddsJam. We're going to link that in the description of our MLB videos, and we'll obviously be tweeting that out at Calling Our Shot. So definitely, if you're following us on Twitter, you'll definitely see it. If you just check our Twitter feed, you'll see it come up at least once, probably twice a day. And then other than that, nothing else is really going to change. You guys are just getting more content. So treat yourself to that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. We definitely appreciate it. But let's kind of look like, you know how Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, sometimes your parents let you open up a couple gifts. Why don't we just kind of talk about a couple of the games, a couple of the big matchups? And I was wearing my Aaron Judge shirt. I'll wear it in tomorrow's video. But Red Sox versus Yankees. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this on opening day. And we'll also, give me your thoughts on this one, because obviously it's going to be, I mean, you obviously know Red Sox Yankees, one of the biggest rivals in the sport of baseball.
Yeah, and like this is how I want opening day. I want this, you know, all-time historic rivalry. I want this, you know, good pitching matchup too. You know, looking at my phone right now, it's Garrett Cole and Eovaldi, you know, scheduled to start. I mean, that's as good as each team's ace. And I mean, what's really interesting, just kind of looking at this one, is like, can the Yankees start their season off on the right note? Because if they do take care of Boston, you know, kind of conquer some of those demons, Garrett Cole specifically, Red Sox were his demons last year. The Red Sox chased him off the mound way too frequently, and in games that he really needed to have and show why they're paying him all that money, he showed up small. So can he start the season off well? That's a storyline I'm looking at in this one. And really also, can the Yankees offense take a step forward? I know there was some shuffling, you know, with the trade with the Twins, you know, to you know, kind of get some new bats in there. And can the Red Sox kind of continue what they did last year? Because their bats were amazing. Their offense was, you know, top 5-ish in the league, I want to say, in a lot of the runs categories.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one, and I'm curious what they set Garrett Cole's strikeout number at. So maybe it's something we're targeting. Probably leaning towards the under, if I'm being honest. But we'll see, because like I said, it'll be the player props sometimes are slow to come out for baseball. But this isn't as exciting as an opening day matchup, and they didn't waste no time, because it's the first game on the slate, and it's the only game. It's the first pitch is at 1, I believe. I think it's at 1. The next closest is 2:20, and that's Brewers versus Cubs. And then you don't have a game till 4. So if you're going to be watching baseball, you're going to be sweating maybe at work at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I know some people out there will be sweating at work. Well, you're going to be betting on the Red Sox Yankees. So it's going to be a fun time. This really doesn't get better than this matchup. They play again. Obviously, they play, you know, I think they have a 4-game series to open it up, because I do know they play on Sunday night baseball, which will be cool on Sunday at like 7 p.m. Kind of first pitch. So I don't really think it's better than that. I mean, this matchup's going to be great. We'll see how Garrett Cole, I mean, you're right. He did struggle versus the Red Sox. I remember he would still get to the 5th or 6th inning, and you'd be like, oh, Garrett Cole's still in? Well, you'd see the score, and he had given up like 6 or 7 earned runs. You're like, Jesus, this guy's giving up. Why is he still in the game? But kind of how the Yankees ran him into the ground and just let him do whatever he wants out there. Because
it's kind of how the Yankees utilized him. They utilized him a lot. It almost felt like a lot of times they were like, oh, we're paying him all this money. Yeah, might as well keep him in. Like it really did seem like that. When Garrett Cole would have a bad game, he would have a straight up bad game, to where if you know, were foolish enough to sometimes pick his prop lines, like, you know, I was, you'd be like, oh man, swing and a miss, like hard swing and a miss. But then when Garrett Cole was on, that's one of those things. When he was on like 10, 12 strikeouts easily.
Oh yeah, he was automatic.
And so like I want to see if he can round back into that type of form, because we saw it. Now, again, something we talked about last year, a weird thing that, you know, say what you want about the pine tar, the sticky substance, spider tack man, right? That's what they called him. And how his spin rate on his pitches, you know, changed a lot ever since they banned that and started cracking down on it. So he's had a full off season to get accustomed to the ball without any sticky substance. what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Garrett Cole? I got a lot of questions for you, but yeah, I'm really amped. You know, you referenced that it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I'm apologizing to my work on Thursday automatically because I'm gonna be working on my normal computer, but I'm on my phone in the corner, just like
they got to respect the grind. There's nothing more
they
can
have
do.
to respect the grind. They got to know that my productivity on Thursday is gonna be low, as with probably most people, most baseball fans. So.
And Friday will be no better as there's even more games on Friday. But one other cool game that we wanted to point out, the Astros versus Angels. I mean, we talked about the Astros, obviously, you know, one of the best teams in the majors over the last 5 to 10 years. It's been very good, consistent. And then the Angels, in my head, they're always this team that gets a lot of hype, and there's reason behind it. Obviously, they have Ohtani, the reigning MVP. Obviously, Mike Trout is back. And then obviously on opening day, they also have Ohtani pitching. So what is your thoughts on this one? This is going to be a fun one to watch. I believe it's the second latest game. So you get to watch Red Sox, Yankees early, get a little bit of dinner, and then you get to go turn on some Astros versus Angels.
Yeah. So I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see. I mean, we're pulling up the odds right now, and they're going to obviously change by the time, you know, we're in betting form. But it's like, you know, Angels favored -120 is just really interesting. Like they are, to me, disrespecting a lot of the Astros. You know, the Astros had an interesting offseason. They let go of Carlos Correa, as we're all aware, and they're trotting out in this particular match Valdez. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those pitchers that's a little bit shaky. I think this is really interesting. Put the Angels putting out Ohtani, you know, first game of the season, playing at home in front of their home crowd. Would they want hopefully establish, you know, some momentum, you know, to start, because with, like you said, Mike Trout returning, this Angels team is a really interesting team to watch for me, because last year it was pretty much the fighting Ohtanis, right? Like the Angels really only ever got, you know, mentions when it was Ohtani doing his heroics and stuff. He didn't have much of a supporting cast, but now you're getting, you know, a very talented, one of the best players in the league, Mike Trout back. You know, the Angels have made some tweaks. I don't know how much better their pitching staff's gotten at as a whole. I don't know if they've quite addressed the bullpen, because their bullpen was bad last year, straight up bad. So I don't know if they've really addressed that. That's something to watch for. But the Astros could put it on them. They could put it on Ohtani. I'm really interested to see what happens there.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised to see the Astros as underdogs. Like, I'm sure that's not going to be something we see as really more than, I don't know, how many games this season, maybe 30 to 40, if they are the Astros of who we thought they would be. I don't know how many games there were underdogs last year, but it definitely wasn't a lot. I'll pull it up as we kind of go through it. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be Ohtani's kind of, when I always think about I've loosely followed MLB for the past couple of years. I always think about the Angels, and it's always been a team that they just never get into a rhythm. They never start off hot. They always start off kind of like 3-7, and then, you know, they kind of just slowly fall back towards the end of the pack, and they're always disappointing. And so I'm hopeful that they will be good, because everyone wants to see, like, I love Trout, I love Ohtani. There's a big names, guys that are going to sell a ton of jerseys, and so I love to see them very good, but I just don't know if I have a lot of faith in them. So I'm a little bit skeptical of them. I'm hoping for the best, at least. Maybe they'll be able to get done. I'm looking at the Astros. They were favored in, let's see, 146 games last year. 146 they were favorites. So I mean, that included some playoffs. So roughly, you know, 25, 30 games that they weren't favorites. But yeah, it's going to be Ohtani's. Hopefully Mike Trout can stay healthy, because Mike Trout was injured. I don't know how many games did he probably played less than 50 games last year, if I were to guess. I swear he got injured in like June, and then he was gone.
I would say, yeah, if even 50. Like it was really, really a low amount of games. I can't even remember like watching the Angels with Mike Trout. That's how few games it probably was.
Yeah, he had 117 at bats. So yeah, if you ever take probably around 40 games, maybe even less than that. So they're going to need him obviously out there. I see that he's out again on Tuesday, but just CBS Sports says he's out. So hopefully he's active for Thursday. We need Mike Trout out there. That would be fun to watch. But for any other matchups, there weren't really a ton on Thursday. There weren't, I mean, like we're not talking about Pirates, Cardinals. No thanks. Guardians, Royals. You want to talk about that? Yeah, no. Mariners, Twins will be a cool one. Your boy Robbie Ray will be on the mound for the Mariners opening day on the road in Minnesota. So that's going to be a fun fun matchup, but aren't a lot of good games. On Friday, you obviously get the Orioles. We're big fans of Ryan Mountcastle. I'll book it for his home run prop. And there's a couple other, fun games. The Dodgers are in Colorado taking on the Rockies. That'll be an interesting one. We obviously know the Rockies are only good at home. And we got the Rangers Blue Jays. That's an interesting one. What do you think about that one on Friday?
So Rangers Blue Jays, yeah, exactly. We were kind of talking off camera a little bit about this one. Yeah, like on paper, the Blue Jays are pretty decently sized favorites, like right at this very minute, minus 162. And I don't think they should be. That's what I like to call a simple trap. Like the traps are always laid in baseball, and you got the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are a very sexy team on paper. I'm not even gonna lie. They were my potential value pick at World Series because I like them on paper. Now that being said, what I don't like is if Barrios is pitching, which he seems to be pitching probably, against, Gray on the other side of the mound for the Rangers. I don't like Barrios one bit. I don't think if he kind of, implodes, like I've seen him do too many games last year for the that's too much for the Blue Jays to overcome. I don't care what you want to say. They've got talent to put up some offense, but the Rangers are an interesting team because I picked against them so much last year, and I was right most of the time. But I think this is a new year. They turned salary cap mode off. They went out and spent a boatload of money. They said we're not going to be a laughing stock of the MLB anymore. We're at least gonna go down swinging, pun intended. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential optimism with the Rangers. So I think you're kind of sleepwalking if you're just picking Jays as like an automatic win. Sure, they could win, but it's probably not going to be because of a Barrios masterpiece,
Yeah, it's going to probably be a first 5 over kind of day for that game. I don't know who the Rangers are trotting out there, so we'll have to wait until we see starting pitchers. Obviously, that's still almost 3 days away from the time we're recording this, but let's transition off of MLB. You obviously hear us talking more about that tomorrow morning. Set your alarm, 7:30 a.m. The video should be live. And obviously, we post it on the podcast platforms as well. So you can download our daily videos onto there as well. But let's switch over to the NFL. Not a lot of topics to talk about. But speaking of spending money, the rich just keep spending more as Bobby Wagner signs, I think, a 5-year, $50 million deal to go to the Rams. And it's like, I don't know who their cap consultant is, but give him a raise because that man's pulling money out of thin air. And they keep signing people like it's going out of style. They get Allen Robinson, then they get Bobby Wagner, one of the best free agents left. Who do they get next? Tyrann Mathieu?
I know it's been really insane to watch them keep accumulating talent because in the NFL it's constantly one of those revolving doors. It's a bit of business. It's like when you're up to get paid, usually the team moves on from you, especially if you're older. The Rams are more of, hey, we're in win now mode. Why not just spend a boatload of money and just continue to be in this win now mode? Matt Stafford ain't getting any younger. That's really kind of what they're banking on. They're saying we've got a ready-made team, one that already won this, coming off of a Super Bowl victory. So why not continue to push and go for it? I think this Rams team, honestly, is just as much, as good as the Super Bowl team, if not better, because they've addressed some needs. I mean, Bobby Wagner always makes you better. He's a leader. He's that anchor in the middle of the defense. And then if you're adding Allen Robinson, look, I mean, Robert Woods was hurt last year, but you're pairing up a complete, crazy tandem of Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp. I mean, Allen Robinson finally has a quarterback throwing to him.
About dang time.
Yeah, about dang time.
Yeah, I'm excited for Bobby Wagner. And I think, honestly, if I were Rams fans, I'd be much happier with Bobby Wagner signing him for $10 million a year for a couple of years than I would have been if you signed like Von Miller to his ridiculous extension. I don't know, whatever it was, 20-something million a year. Like, I don't know. I love Bobby Wagner. It's fun to look. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but every time the Seahawks were playing, they'd always bring up like Chris Collinsworth or whatever saying, this guy's missed only 2 tackles all year, hasn't missed a single tackle or whatever he would say. And it's true. Bobby Wagner's that anchor. He's not necessarily the most athletic guy on the field. He's not going to run a 4.2 linebacker, and he's not going to intercept, 5 passes, but he's going to be very, very good. And that's kind of what this Rams defense needed. It's kind of that anchor, someone to call all the plays. And I'm really excited for him. Obviously, they already have Jalen Ramsey on the outside, so they got and Aaron Donald. So it kind of gives them like a 3-tiered approach. They got Aaron Donald up front. You got Bobby Wagner in the middle, and then Jalen Ramsey shutting down a side. It's going to be – I don't know how they can do it, but props to them, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean – Another
cool storyline while we're on the Bobby Wagner topic is, I'm sure this had to factor in. He gets to play the Seahawks twice a year. I mean, that's how fun is the revenge game narrative in the NFL? And I think the Seahawks are going to be, woof. They're in max rebuild mode. I don't really know what's going on with that team. They're just losing talent left and right. So it's like, it's one of those things. I appreciate what the Seahawks did, at least letting Bobby go and say, hey, you know, you're not a spring chicken anymore. Go to a team that you might be able to win a Super Bowl on this year, because it ain't us.
Yeah,
so
Bobby was even saying that, you know, they didn't even notify him that he was being released, which seemed awfully weird for a guy that's been there since
exactly,
Legion
yeah.
of Boom days for probably a decade. I think he's a 10-year All-Pro, like been an All-Pro every single year. Just weird that they wouldn't, you know, tell him, hey, Bobby, we're cutting you loose, my friend.
The NFL is a weird, cold, you know, icy business sometimes. You know, a lot of the players, you know, always come out and say, yeah, behind closed doors, you know, I didn't even know I was traded until I saw it on, you know, Adam Schefter tweeting it or something like that. Like a lot of the times, because it's such a business and so transactional, a lot of these players are like, hey, you know, I'm a human too. I would have liked to know that before the public knew it. Simply not how it is always, but, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, what the Rams do. Again, they're going to be probably the prohibitive favorite, probably in the NFC. I mean, make a case for somebody better than them. They're running it back plus some, you know?
Yeah, I can't make a case for really any other team. We'll see. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of the Cardinals. Obviously, still with Kyler and Kingsbury. Seahawks are just absolutely tanking. And then 49ers could be a wild card team solely because, you know, we don't know what Trey Lance is. Like, he could, you know, have that big blossom in the second year. I'm not, if you to re-roll the tapes, I've never been a big Trey Lance guy. I've always been kind of like, this guy doesn't seem to be very accurate. Seems very Cam Newton minus like 35 pounds, like not trucking people, a little bit more finesse, but just a straight laser right at you. And so I'm not too high on him, but I mean, it's a guy in his first year. You can't really judge a rookie QB off his 1 or 2 starts. And however, I probably threw less than 70 passes this season. So, but yeah, you got to think the Rams are the easy front runner. And it's weird to see, you know, a division that was, you know, highly touted, you know, kind of Seahawks are kind of going in the wrong direction. Who knows what they're doing with DK Metcalf? He's always in rumors. And then he'll go out and tweet on Twitter. He'll be like, this is the first time I'm hearing of this kind of thing, which maybe he's trying to blow off the smoke. But then also now we see the track record of Bobby Wagner. They didn't tell him. So what? I don't know if they're going to tell DK Metcalf if he's getting traded. Yeah. Kind of want
if I'm the Seahawks, if I'm the Seahawks, I have to hang on to Metcalf. That's just a piece that you have to build around. Like, there's some like off the like, you know, trade block guys, but you know what? Seahawks do what they want. I'm interested to see if he does end up staying there. He's too young. That's the thing about it. He's too young to really move on from. But I mean, think about the NFC. Like, I want to talk about the NFC picture, because if you're looking at the NFC picture, you just mentioned the NFC West shouldn't be all too hard for the Rams. But I'm just trying to think of who's going to be their biggest competition in the NFC, because I would say Packers, but then they lost Devontae Adams. Like, how do I have even a level of confidence? I guess I'll go ahead and put, you know, I guess I'll go ahead and put Tampa Bay Bucks in there. You know, now that Tom Brady's returning, that's obviously, you know, a huge boost for them.
Yeah, we never know about the Cowboys either. Not that, you know, I mean, they're always
okay. Yes, Cowboys. You convinced me.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the Rams division to lose, or conference to lose. They're going to be the front runner. Should lead probably that. I mean, but the Bucks are still going to be pretty dang good themselves with Brady back, and obviously they basically brought back everyone, and then they added a couple extra weapons for him. Like Russell Gage is a good addition. I think he's going to be underrated, but Russell Gage a very good receiver. And then we'll obviously see with Chris Godwin's injury coming back from the torn ACL. But it's another thing I kind of want. We didn't have this on our pre-show notes, but I kind of want to talk about the NFL fully guaranteed contracts. So we obviously saw a couple weeks ago, Deshaun Watson got the first ever, you know, fully guaranteed $230 million. And so now we've seen, I don't know the name of the Ravens owner, but now they're kind of like, you got to be kidding me. And I wonder if there's part of the Browns, they wanted to not only give him a lot of money, but they knew if they did that, they would also set up not only Lamar Jackson, but also Joe Burrow in their same division just in a couple years. They knew they'd sabotage them, because some division, I mean, some teams like the Bengals, like they didn't even have an indoor practice facility. So who knows how capable they are of, you know, spending that much money on a single player. And while Joe Burrow is now kind of set a new level for the Bengals organization, whereas like pre this year, you're like, okay, well, this is the bottom 2 team in their division. But now they kind of have Super Bowl aspirations, which obviously bring more, ticket sales and all that stuff. But what are your thoughts on these fully guaranteed contracts? Because now Deshaun Watson's the first one. I mean, you would imagine if you're Lamar Jackson, you're Joe Burrow. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I think, is the next guy up on the block to get a new extension. But you'd imagine he's asking fully guaranteed at this rate. Why wouldn't you?
Right. That's and again, the Browns are kind of setting that precedent, as you mentioned, like for how these players, because in the NFL, the whole not for long. That's what the NFL stands for, because the average, lifespan of a NFL player, I believe, is like roughly like 3 seasons. Like that's it. If you're not in the league cemented by 3 seasons, you're out. So like to have these fully guaranteed contracts, barring injury, barring, all sorts of like variables that you can't control. If I'm a player, I'm like, hell yeah. Like I see what Deshaun Watson just got. He was out of football and legal problems. Like, I, being Lamar Jackson, former, MVP, I'm worth every bit of that. Like how do you come to Yeah, exactly. How do you come to the negotiating table if you're Lamar Jackson and say, yeah, I'll go ahead and take less than Deshaun Watson right across the division? Yeah, that makes about sense. Like the only way you would take less is if you're in a position like a Tom Brady where you're the GOAT, you cemented your status, and you're like, yeah, I can backpedal on the money a little bit in helping my teammates out. Well, not a lot of players always think like that. It's more of like, I got to get mine because nothing's given. And here they are with these fully guaranteed deals. And that could honestly cripple your team a little bit. Like there's no doubt about that. Like those teams that you just mentioned, like the Bengals and the Ravens, won't be made better if their quarterbacks are being paid fully guaranteed contracts.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's going to put a lot of teams in tough positions. And it's like, you might not want to pay that guy that much, but then you're like, well, what are our other alternatives? I mean, there's not really a lot of, you either have a good QB in the NFL or your team's not very good. That's kind of how it normally goes. And we speak from existence because as Jets and Panthers fans, we know this far too well. You need a good QB to not only make the playoffs, but also go far. It's going to be interesting. I think we're going to start seeing some record-breaking deals over the next 3 years. It probably starts with Lamar Jackson. Then we have Kyler Murray pitching a fit and want to get paid this offseason before the draft. And obviously we already talked about Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, another guy that will be coming up on an extension. A lot of good young talent in the NFL, and these guys are going to have to get paid one day or another, and they're likely not going to be waiting until their contract's completely up, and then they're like, all right, fine, I'll play on the I can't think of the word, the franchise tag.
Franchise tag, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Someone needs to get a pacifier for Kyler Murray, because I don't want to hear that from him right now. And this is my scorching hot take. Like I do not want to hear Kyler Murray complaining about anything right now. You need to go out and you need to buckle up that chin strap. You need to prove it, because I'm tired of these whack Cardinals headlines being, oh, Kyler Murray's discontent. Yeah, there's a rift growing here. Like, you haven't shown anything, Kyler Murray. It's sustained. Like, you've shown flashes and you've shown that the Cardinals can compete in the NFC. But for me to say, as just a, casual sports fan, and probably, a lot of NFL people have to be feeling this way, for you to deserve that tier of players, you're going to have to go challenge the Rams in that division. You're going to have to, 100% make the playoffs, and you cannot have the type of letdown season, pouty season that you had last year. I don't want to hear it, Kyler.
Neither do I, but I have 2 last things before we wrap up. My dad sent me some cool stats, and I wanted to bring them up. They're going to go back to MLB, but he wanted me to bring up Max Scherzer's salary is more than 4 MLB teams: the Orioles, A's, the Guardians, and the Pirates. So that's pretty interesting. And he's making $43 million. Some of those teams aren't even above $38 million. So that's fun. And then I forget the other one. It was talking about how the Athletics, their salary in 90 was about $31 million. And this year it's the same. So so you love to see that consistency.
Yes, that's a perfect. See, that's not something we're going to talk about on our daily episodes, but these teams that are bad, I think we talked about it last week. These teams that are bad, like they can never get better because they don't spend the money. There's teams, like you said, with players outspending them, as a whole. You got to feel for them a little bit, especially hearing numbers like that. Look, the A's are going to be putrid this year. I don't know what they have left. Maybe they're testing out some farm players. Who knows?
I don't know what they're going to do, but I want to finish. I didn't put this on our notes, but I want to talk about it because tonight could be the night. Remember, we're recording this Tuesday night. I believe there's a chance the Lakers will be eliminated from the playoff contention. Ooh. I'm not confirmed. I want to hear your thoughts on the Lakers season because there's very slim chance that they do make the playoffs, even the play-in game, let alone the actual playoffs.
Yeah, so I'd like to bet my house on they're not going to make the playoffs just because I've been tracking for funsies on FanDuel there to make the playoffs bet, and it's so minuscule now that they took it away. They're like, yeah, they ain't making the playoffs. So even FanDuel is not a believer in the Lakers. I'm not a believer. Look, the whole thing with the Lakers was they were never healthy at the right time, be it AD, be it LeBron, the Westbrook, the chemistry just couldn't jive. So when you can't have these players on the court all at the same time, how are you ever supposed to, get on any sort of roll? Because what I kept looking at the Lakers was I was like, they're going to string together some wins. I'd watch them win every now and then, and I'd be like, okay, this is kind of the spark they need for that, postseason push. Well, never came because they just couldn't get healthy at the same time. So obviously super disappointing. I don't see any scenario that they really do make the playoffs. Prove me wrong. Seem crazier.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to beat the Suns tonight, and by the time you guys are watching this, that game will have already ended, so we'll see how that one goes. But, yeah, it was a disappointing year for all Lakers fans, and, I mean, they can't control health in the NBA, in any sport. Health comes down to a lot of it, and it feels like now, I forget who was talking about it. I think Kevin Garnett maybe, or someone else was talking about it. Now they felt like more than ever, maybe it was JJ Redick, but like now it feels like injuries play a lot bigger role in terms of determining who's the champion. I mean, we think about last year when the Suns made it. Obviously, they ran into the Lakers, but the Lakers were beating them up 2-1, and then AD got injured, and obviously that kind of spiraled out of control. And then we think about, the Bucks beating the Nets. They were down James Harden, and Kyrie Irving was kind of injured there too. So injuries play a big role, and it stinks that the Lakers won't be there. I mean, some people hate on the Lakers, but they are a big brand. I mean, they're going to make a lot of money for the NBA if they're there. But obviously, it's probably not happening this year, and we'll see what their future is. I imagine Westbrook's getting out of town. They're probably going to still hold on to LeBron and AD. But, yeah, AD, Data Davis, got to be active because, I mean, he's their most important player, arguably. LeBron can drop 30 points a game, but once he goes on the bench, it's like, well, where does the offense go? And Westbrook could just never kind of jive with the players, and they lost a lot of their depth with, like, I mean, we make memes about Caruso and KCP and Kuzma and stuff, but yeah, those guys are better than their current role players with Austin Reeves. No offense to a fellow Austin. He didn't deserve that, but those guys are a little bit better.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, isn't it right about now that they're missing the Caruso, that they're missing even the Kyle Kuzma? They needed that sort of youth movement that they were so quick to ship off in seasons past. If you just look at kind of the talent that the Lakers used to have once upon a time and how they've shifted the different pieces to, acquire the team that they have, you got to say, is each of these pieces together actually greater than what you assembled now? And maybe yes, because, an argument can be made like, the Julius Randle, while inconsistent sometimes, I mean, he's a good piece. Brandon Ingram, like these are all pieces that the Lakers once upon a time had, like Jordan Clarkson. These are all, if they would have just played it differently. I'm just saying, like
you never really know. It was kind of like they had to rush it because obviously LeBron's timeline is different from everyone else. But
of course,
it's an interesting one. I saw Magic Johnson talking on First Take about how they were supposed to get DeMar DeRozan instead of Westbrook, but then they pulled the Westbrook trigger, and DeMar DeRozan obviously went to Chicago then. And the whole team would be completely different. They'd have DeRozan there playing with LeBron when AD's out, and they would have been able to keep Caruso, KCP, all those guys instead of having to ship them off to Washington. So we'll see what they do this offseason. The offseason is going to be an interesting one. Likely not going to be in the playoffs, so we'll have it. Obviously, they won't be there, but there's still a lot of good teams out in the West. So not much to do there. I just want to talk about the Lakers a little bit because by the time next week's podcast is coming around, we'll not only have the playoffs all wrapped up, and I imagine maybe a play-in game will be going on. I'm not really sure what the play-in game strategy is. I just know the regular season ends on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see how it goes. This could be the Lakers' funeral, I guess. We're giving them some flowers a little bit, Good try. Good try, Lakers.
You tried your best. But that's going to wrap it up for this week's Calling Our Shot podcast, episode 31. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, tomorrow we're going to be grinding. The MLB grind starts tomorrow, so get your alarm clocks ready, Logan, because we are going to be coming with full steam. So a reminder about those parlay of the days that we post on OddsJam. We'd really appreciate if you check out those articles when we post them, just because it does help support the channel. There's a lot of different things you can do to support the channel, but that is one of them. So we appreciate you guys again for listening to the podcast. We'll be back again next week, and obviously we'll see you guys bright and early Thursday morning, 7:30 a.m. sharp. You'll be seeing both of us in the same kind of setting, giving out our favorite plays of the day. Woo! It doesn't get better than that, man. We'll be back again then. But we appreciate you guys for listening to the live or in the podcast. Obviously, our live streams tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.